How are you, my brothers? I'm your elder brother, Kiran Roy. So, today I'll be addressing an important topic which has been requested to me by many fellow viewers. So, they asked me, what does tattoos, piercings, bold hair colors imply and what relation it has to past trauma? So, I will definitely address this because these things definitely has a direct link in the way a person shapes up. It speaks a lot about the trauma, and lots of things are involved, which I'll try to cover in great depth and detail to the best of my abilities. So, you everywhere, as in wherever you go, be it gyms, be it pubs, will always see at least one or two girls who are heavily tattooed, who are heavily pierced. They are wearing those glowing hair colors, which normally nobody would even think of doing, but they are doing it nevertheless. So that's more than meets the eye, if you ask me. That's not just a fashion statement or a style statement. It's more than that. What it implies, I will explain you in this video. Stay tuned. My first point is reclaiming control over the body. Many women who might have suffered past trauma in the form of physical assault or physical abuse, they try to reclaim the ravage their body has undergone. So what they do, they try to take ownership of their body by making minor changes like tattoos, piercings, bold hair colors. So in a way, if you ask me psychologically, they are trying to take back the ownership of the anatomy basically, because it had been taken over by somebody else. They were living in the past. So that signals that I'm coming back and taking full ownership, full responsibility of my body by doing these. So it acts in this way as well. So it, I don't mean to say that everybody who does that are going through that same, but I'm saying that this is also a way by which it can happen. As per my research, as per my studies, because I've studied a long list of women who are heavily tattooed, heavily pierced, wearing all sorts of glowing hair colors. So I've got into their past. I've researched, I've studied in depth into their past, whatever had happened, and everybody, almost everybody, came with the same readings. And as whatever readings I have got, I'll be sharing in this video. So basically, they assert ownership of their bodies. For example, a woman who might have undergone molestation during her childhood, they tend to have bold tattoos. That is to reclaim confidence and ownership basically. So every tattoo, every piercing, the wild hair colors, they all have a story behind it from what I have studied in my subjects basically. So there are many ways they try to take full ownership of the past which happened, which was not in their control. This was primarily because it was not in their control. Had they had control, they wouldn't have done that, or it wouldn't have happened had they had control. But since they were helpless, they did not have control. That is the psychology behind they trying to make minor modifications to take complete ownership of that situation again in the form of piercings, tattoos, loud hair colors. So that is not always a style statement. It is deep. It is way, way deeper. Because when a woman might have experienced abuse or assault during her childhood, she would face a loss of control over her body. So these gestures again reaffirms that control over her body, that I am in charge. I can do whatever I want with my body and I refuse to live in the past. So the purpose behind my video is never to judge them, because you never know what their story can be. Not even me. We can, I do know because I have studied, I have given therapy to them. That's why I'm aware. But what I'm trying to tell you is you don't try to form your own opinion just by seeing tattoos or piercings. Because everybody would be having a different story, and one story, one size does not fit all. Everybody might be having something different to have. So never ever judge somebody on the basis of tattoos, piercings, or loud hair colors alone. Because as I said, they are trying to regain control over their life, which is not a bad thing. How can somebody regaining control over their life be a bad thing? So never ever judge somebody just on the basis. Through this video, I'm just trying to educate you the reasons that may be. I'm not saying that this is 100% going to be the case, but yes, in the subjects who were having these attributes, I did find a common link of past abuse and trauma, even assault. That was 100% the case. And they wearing piercings and all these things, that's their way of regaining control over their body, because they were feeling a loss of control, because it had been compromised, right? So they were feeling a loss of control over their body psychologically. Though their body is still theirs, it was always theirs, but they were feeling a loss of control. So to exert dominance and to regain control back again, they indulge in such activities as per my studies. Yes. Second point which I have seen is they use pain as a coping mechanism. A woman who has undergone depression, it can be a breakup, it can be a divorce. How many of you have seen a woman who has just undergone divorce? They get a tattoo done, they get a piercing done. How often have you seen that? Quite often, right? Because pain is what it requires, as in to get a tattoo done, for that matter, to get a piercing done. It's a kind of, it's an act of pain basically. Directly, it's not a sticker that you just paste it. There is pain involved. So when a person is going through depression, or a bad breakup for that matter, or a bad divorce for that matter, pain serves as an outlet to that pain. For example, as I said, the best way to beat that emotional pain is physical pain, which is like running, lifting weights. But these women try to inflict pain in them in the form of tattoos and piercings as an outlet to their deep emotional pain which they are going through, because they are trying to replace that emotional pain with physical pain in another sort, apart from running or swimming or training with weights, because this serves as a, they try to come out of that emotional pain which they are going through by replacing it with another pain of tattoos or piercing. So this is one common point which I have seen in countless cases, that you will see people, I mean women, when they are going through a turbulent period in their lives, that is the period they tend to indulge in these things, like getting a loud hair color, tattoos and piercings, especially not the hair color thing, but tattoos and piercings. You will see women are more prone to after a breakup, after a divorce. When they are happy and they are going through a very good time, you will see very less people indulging in that. But when it's a breakup, 100% sure you will be seeing this thing. Breakups has a very high strike rate. Divorces, especially, you will see a woman who might have hated tattoos her whole life, but the moment she gets divorced, she gets a tattoo done. How many have seen this? It is just a pain replacement thing. Actually, it's more of a pain replacement thing rather. They try to use that emotional pain to externalize the physical pain. On many cases, you will see women doing tattoos thinking that rather than giving some ugly sort of pain, like just cutting my hand, I'm leaving something artistic and meaningful. So it is not harmful. I'm inflicting myself with pain, but for all the right reasons. In return, I'm not getting an ugly scar. I'm getting a beautiful design or a beautiful word. So it tends to be a win-win situation for them, that they are getting the pain to cope up with that emotional pain, but at that same time, something meaningful, something beautiful is being left, and more often than not, it is permanent. So in bargain, they are getting a beautiful artistic thing left in their body. So that's not a losing proposition at all. My next point is marking a transformation. Many women indulge in these activities like getting a loud hair color as a mark of freedom, as a mark of their newfound freedom rather. Many women are like stuck in very bad relationships. It used to, they would never get freedom to do anything. But once they had broken up, they immediately go for a loud hair color. as an act of celebrating that newfound freedom. It's an act of rebellion that I've come out of it. I've come out of it, and that is their way of celebrating basically. See, I don't want to be normal anymore. I want to do something outrageous. I will wear purple hair. I will do like white hair for that matter. I mean, whatever kind of different outrageous hair colors are there in the market, they try to indulge in that. But that's more of a mark of celebration and as a mark of protest also in many cases. It's a mark of protest that why did I suffer all this while? Why I couldn't do that earlier? Now I will do it. So why should I settle for a normal maroon color? I was in the normal hues which normally a person wears. I'll go for the loudest thing in the market. So that is just a way of rebellion, at the same time celebration, and more often than not, it's freedom. It spells the word freedom, that I'm out of it. So it's an act of celebration to celebrate their freedom, basically. And people who have gone through a traumatic relationship, or people who have gone through a traumatic experience for that matter, women who have gone through a traumatic experience or a relationship, they're trying to find closure by indulging in tattoos, piercings, loud hair colors. That's their way of starting anew by closing one bad chapter of their life. So, this act of getting a tattoo or a loud, glowing purple hairstyle for that matter, it implies for them that I'm closing one chapter, that old XYZ, whatever her name is, that old person is dead. Now, this is the new person. A new person has taken birth. So, I'm starting my life anew and I'm closing that old life forever. Now a new chapter is opening, a new chapter is unfurling in front of me, and that old chapter, I'm throwing it in the junk. That is another common way of looking at things which I have personally stumbled upon on, which I have seen that whenever they want to close one chapter, they indulge in these activities to start a new chapter in their lives. That's a mark of starting a new chapter, basically. My next point is it's a classic act of rebellion. Many women have been brought up in a restrictive environment. It can be a restrictive environment at their parents' house, or for that matter, in their in law's house as well. They are not allowed to dress the way they want to, they are not allowed to wear whatever clothes they want to. So, finally, when they wish to rebel against it, this acts like the perfect ground. You will see, I have personally seen lots of women who were raised in a very conservative environment, religious environment, in which piercings, tattoos are a taboo. They indulge in these activities as a mark of rebellion against that restriction which was placed upon them. So in majority of the cases I have seen, whoever has been brought up in a very restrictive environment, a very religious environment, they do indulge in all three of them or any one of them as an act of rebellion. That spells the word, I'm in charge of my life. I'm not going to be a slave to your rules. I want to live my life my way. I will do whatever I want to put on my body. I will decide what I have to do. So that's like a act of rebellion in most of the cases that I have seen. Majority of the girls that I have seen, whom I have studied, they come from very conservative backgrounds, and though they had a modern outlook towards life, their parents were very conservative, or their in-laws were very conservative, their husbands were very conservative. They would not allow her to wear any dress, any mini skirts for that matter, whatever. But that's their act of coming out of it and breaking free. These tattoos, these acts which we are talking about, this indulges rebellion to a great extent. That's 100% for sure. My next point is creating a protective persona, creating a protective shield. I had seen one girl, I was counseling one lady. She had edgy piercings, like sharp piercings. She had large tattoos, and she had a very loud hair color as well, all three in one girl. So she was a clear case for me to study. So though directly I was not studying, I did not tell her that I'm studying about your tattoos. I was counseling her in another aspects of life. So through that, I got deeper and deeper into her past, and I came to know that she was molested, and she was very hurt with that. Since she was molested, she created a protective environment by getting large tattoos done, by getting edgy piercings. So, what I came to know from this reading of mine was she was trying to create a barrier between her and the other person so that nobody can hurt her. That is her way of creating a protective shield around her. That large tattoo, the piercings, which were not normal piercings, they were edgy, pointed, so that somebody would think twice before approaching her. So that was her barrier between her and a potential molester, basically, because she had clear history of molestation from my studies, which I came to know. So on many occasions, you will see a person wearing large tattoos or edgy piercings or very outrageous hair color. That is to shake off some potential molester for that matter in the future. She's just trying to protect herself. She's not trying to appear cool or somebody who's away from the hurt, nothing like that. She's just trying to protect herself. She's not at all trying to act cool. People generally in India, they tend to think that she's trying too hard. She doesn't know what fashion is all about. But it's not always about fashion, as I clearly told you at the start of the video. Tattoos, piercings, and loud hair colors are not always what it implies. Though it is used in the fashion domain, of course, I agree, it is used for fashion purposes. But more often than not, it is more than fashion. It is to create a shield. It is basically through these tattoos, piercings, we can definitely come to know about a person's personality. She's apprehensive, she's scared, she's trying to form a protective barrier around her, she's trying to build a cocoon. Many things, many aspects, if we get into the subject, if we get into the person's past and thing, lots of things comes out, which gives us the conclusion that tattoos, these things are not always just used for fashion purposes. In fact, more often than not, it is used to protect her. This serves as a barrier between her and a potential molester for that matter. This serves as a statement for the bad which has happened to her in the past. This serves as a reminder to her. On many occasions, I've seen it serves as a reminder to them for all the bad that has happened in their lives. This serves as a end of chapter. This serves that we are now hopping on to the next part in my life, and I'm going to throw the past chapter in my life. But I have lots to learn from that past. That's why they have documented it in the form of a tattoo or a piercing for that matter or a hair color for that matter. So there are lots of intricacies involved. So I again say never ever judge a person but by just seeing these things. It's her personal matter of expression. It's her personal matter of communicating mostly with herself. This communication is not with the rest of the world. That communication is with herself. So if you ask me, if I see a girl with a tattoo, heavily tattooed, pierced, I personally wouldn't ask you to call it a red flag, because if somebody else had molested her in the past, and if she's wearing, because today I told you all the scenarios under which a person can indulge in, they may indulge in such activities like tattoos, hair, piercings. So lots of different scenarios I've told you with real time proof which I have seen with real time evidence, real life evidence. So you only tell me, like people generally what they say, that if you see a girl with piercing, she's 100% red flag. But you only say if a girl during her childhood was molested by, say, her uncle, for that matter. If she was molested by her uncle, then what was her fault? She did not invite that uncle, did she? She did not. Her fault would have been had she invited and she indulged in something wrong. Then I agree she's a red flag. That's why I say girls with high body count. They are a clear case of. I'm giving an example. Why do I say girls with a high body count? They are a clear case of red flag, because they are the ones who have invited the bodies in her life, the people in her life. Nobody forced her. It was her conscious decision. So that clearly puts her in the bracket of a red flag. Whereas a child, maybe a child of 12 years old, if she was wrongly molested or touched inappropriately, she did not like it. That had left a scar on her psyche. What is her fault? You only tell me. She is traumatic. I understand she's going through a trauma. But she did not invite it, did she? In Mumbai, in a place like Mumbai itself, or say India for that matter. In Mumbai, the incidents are very less. That's why I'm retracting the Mumbai example. But take Delhi, for instance. Take the other states, for instances, where girls are not safe. So many girls have to face so many brutalities, so many things. Would you call it the girl's or the woman's fault? It is not their fault. How can it be a woman's fault if somebody else is indulging in something wrong? The woman did not invite for it. A woman is wrong when a woman has called for it. When a woman has knowingly invited lots of bodies in her life, she has made out with lots of men in her life knowingly. That is when you don't give her any sympathy of any sort. That is when even I say they don't deserve any sympathy. You can easily bracket them in the slot of red flags. But for a girl who was wrongly, who was done something wrong, because of which if she's wearing a tattoo, then I would never call it a red flag. No. So ideally, everybody, everywhere, throughout the world, I've seen people calling a woman with a tattoo, with a piercing, or a loud hair color as a red flag. But if you ask me, I personally wouldn't call it in all the circumstances. Yes, there are many circumstances in which even these attributes like tattoos and all can come under the red flag banner. But that is for certain cases, not for all. So if you ask me, I wouldn't generalize tattoos entirely into the bracket of red flag, not entirely, because it differs from case to case. So it is very important to understand the reason why. Me being a psychology student, I try to get into the psychology of a girl, why she did it. So if she did it to escape her past body count and to start a new chapter altogether, then it's a red flag. You're getting the difference, what I'm trying to tell you. Even this tattoo, the same thing, the same tattoo can serve as a red flag if her case was she's trying to shut her past case in which she was hoeing around with like tens of 20 different men, and now she wants to turn over a new leaf. She wants to get over her past and she wants to start a new married life. She wants to find a normal simp, a normal 9 to 5 guy, and she wants to start a new life with that simp who will give her the security. In lots of cases I've seen that. That's why I'm saying I've seen lots of girls who spent her prime in chasing boys, in sleeping around, in partying, drinking. But now they want to turn over a new leaf. So that is when they get a tattoo done, a beautiful tattoo done as a mark of closure. That I'm closing that old life and now I'm beginning a new life with my newfound husband. So if you ask me, that's 100% a red flag because she indulged in lots of things which she was not supposed to, because that's not fair on that husband, that simp whom I'm talking about. Or this simps, they don't care about their past, they just take her the way she is. But in reality, you're not supposed. You are supposed to know about her past body count, because a past body count can never be a good news for anybody. Lots of simps, I've heard lots of simps saying, I don't care about her past. Now she is with me, so her present matters to me. Her future with me matters. As long as she is with me, I don't care about her past. That's the most pathetic way of looking at things, because her past definitely holds a big thing. Always remember, a girl, suppose a girl, if she had been around with 12 different boys in her past, in her prime, then you are not marrying one girl. You are marrying 1 plus 12. You are marrying 13 different people, because every person leaves an imprint in her psyche. Always remember that. Every man leaves a part of DNA into that woman. So you're not dealing with just one woman. If she had 12 boyfriends in her past, you're dealing with 13%, 12 plus 1. So that's why this is so important. Knowing about a past, knowing about the past of a woman is very important. And body count 100% plays a big role. I'm going to address this topic of body counts in my next English video. So do watch out. And today I've tried to explain you everything in detail as per to the best of my abilities. If you have any more doubts, do feel free to comment. I will definitely answer you. All right. Jai Hind.